Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time you're watching. Barcelona fans, Phoenix here with the squad needed, in my opinion, for the upcoming season. Of course, Barcelona are coming off a fantastic, remarkable season, but I do think in the transfer window of last season, I personally don't think Barcelona even done a good job. So there is room for improvement. I don't think they need an overhaul, far from it. Little additions here and there, X's that need to be made in order to make Barcelona even stronger headed into the 25-26 season. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Outs, Ter Stegen. I think this one is pretty obvious. It's pretty evident. The relationship between Ter Stegen and Barcelona/Barcelona fans has come basically to ruins. There is nothing there with Joan Garcia coming in, who we'll get into a bit later on. I don't see a future for Ter Stegen at Barcelona. The best thing for him with the World Cup coming up would be to find a new club. And I think that's a decision that will benefit both parties. Up next, Peña as well. I think his time has come. Two goalkeeper exits for Barcelona. And of course, we'll get into the entries in a bit. Christensen out. This one pains me. I'll be real. People say he's my twin lookalike, but I'll never forget that season from Christensen when Barcelona won the league in the 22-23 season. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Then injuries hampered him. Heck, to be honest with you, even last season when he came in, I thought that he played decent considering how long he was out for. But I don't think he's a player that Barcelona will be able to trust upon, considering his injury record. Plus, is he a natural fit for Hansi's system? To be fair, like I said, he did come in and played well, but I don't think the qualities that he has necessarily suit the defensive high line that Barcelona want to play. As a result, I do think Christensen should be moved on. To who will be interesting, but yeah, I definitely think his exit should come from Barcelona. Gerard Martin. He's not good enough. Don't let that cameo against Inter fool you. Yeah, can get down the wing. He can play a decent pass here and there. But ultimately, with Balde's injury record, Barcelona cannot trust upon having Gerard Martin as the replacement. It's just simply too risky. He has to go. And it'll be interesting to see if Barcelona are willing to let him go, because we've seen at times players coming in from La Masia, there's always a bit of a hesitation, but this one for me should be an absolute no-brainer. You guys know the emotional attachment I have to Ansuati. I still believe there's a player there. I really do. Obviously, it's looking like his deal to Monaco is going to be completed. I hope Barcelona keep some kind of sell-on clause. I still believe in Ansu. I will always believe in Ansu. The things that we've seen from him when he broke through, those are not normal things. There's a special player there. He's just lost his way. Injuries, of course, unfortunately, have played their part. But the best thing, again, for both him and Barcelona will be to move on. And for him to be able to play week in, week out. Because at Brighton, this is what people don't understand. But when he went to Brighton, it wasn't like he was doing bad. It's just that Brighton were selfish. They realized that it was a dry loan. And they decided to play the players that they basically own. But Ansu, when he played, he was decent. It's just that he hasn't been playing. But we'll see what happens. What kind of deal Barca do with Monaco will be interesting. Ansu Fati, forever in my heart. I wish you the best of luck in your career, kind sir. And the final exit is Pau Victor. I don't think he's good enough for Barcelona. People act like this guy's still a kid. He's 20 plus now, 22, something like that, 23. He's not a kid anymore. I don't see it. I just don't see it. So that will be my final exit for Barcelona. On to the ends. Joan Garcia, looking like it's confirmed. A deal that needed to be done. Barcelona snapping up the best goalkeeper from La Liga this season, with, in my opinion, the highest potential out of any goalkeeper in the world. A fantastic signing, especially considering they got him from their rivals. Hansi Flick is right to identify a goalkeeper as an urgent position, because going in with Szczesny as a starter, it's not that he didn't do well, but obviously he came back from retirement. His mentality was already there, and either way, with his age, Barca have to snap up a goalkeeper. If it wasn't this season, it would have had to be next season. And when a player like Joan Garcia becomes available, you have to pull the trigger. And it looks like Barcelona have done exactly that. You may not know who this is. From Argentina, Monaco, center back. Do some research on him like I did, and you'll be blown away. His ability to come out with the ball, I've not seen anything quite like that in some time. Because since Bastoni at Inter, he's different to Kubarsi. He hasn't got that passing range like Kubarsi. He gets the ball. Think when Frankie de Jong plays as a center back, he gets the ball from the back and just starts dribbling past players. It's remarkable. He is a right center back. He can easily play a right back from what I've seen. Like I said, I mean, he's so comfortable on the ball, dribbling with the ball out from the back, pushing the team forward. It looks like a Barcelona signing if I have ever seen one. Questions, of course, will be asked about his defensive capabilities. He's not really been tested, but he's about 22, 23 again, not a kid by any means. And I think Barcelona need a centre-back to replace Christensen. He'll be perfect. Gives him a year to settle in as well before potentially becoming a starter. I always thought that Barca needed a left centre-back. Mostly. But I do think Kubarsi plays better as a left centre-back anyways, because of course Inigo will have to be moved on at some point. So yes, Monaco, remember the name. Up next, a former Barcelona player, Miranda. To replace Gerard Martin, I think it's very high risk for Barcelona to go into next season without bringing in a fullback. Balde's injury concerns, Koundé playing every single game. I think Miranda is needed. He knows the environment. He's good going forward, solid defensively, and he'll be perfect to rotate with Balde and ensure, of course, that Barca don't end up in the position they did last season, heading into a crucial Champions League game with two of their fullbacks, well, their starting fullbacks missing. The final in, that's why I don't think Barcelona need to do much work. 4 players are needed. And the final one, no surprise, Nico Williams. There's a lot of talk about Rashford. There's a lot of talk about Lookman potentially. But Nico Williams, let's be honest, he's the one that Barcelona want. He's the one they wanted last season. They couldn't get him. They got Olmo. In my opinion, I still stand by it. I think it was a mistake bringing in Olmo. It's not that he's not talented, but again, there's questions about his fitness. And also, I think Nico Williams will give Barcelona something that they haven't really had in some time. I think even when towards Messi's end at Barcelona, they so desperately needed a player with the speed. They got in Coutinho, they got in Griezmann. They needed the Sadio Mane. That's exactly what they needed. And Nico Williams, with the chemistry he already has with some of the other Barcelona players in the Spanish national team, would be absolutely perfect. I have one concern. His consistency, let's be honest. For Bilbao, he's not coming off a good season, right? There's games when he wants to turn up, he turns up. But what about all the other games? If he's going to come to Barcelona, he has to turn up a lot more consistent in the games. The other concern I have is him and Balde together. If you guys remember Neymar and Jordi Alba together, it was almost too attacking, right? Like, Jordi Alba wanted to push, Neymar's there, of course, on the wing, and the relationship deteriorated. For the Spanish national team, we haven't really seen Balde and Nico play together as much. It's obviously been Cucurella starting. What's worked really well for Barcelona is when Rafinha starts on the left, he comes inside, Balde overlaps. It's something Barcelona have been doing even since Xavi's days when they won the league in the 2023 season. In that regard, Lookman would have been maybe more of a natural fit because he can start on the left, tuck in, Balde overlaps. But, like I said, I do think Barcelona have been missing a player with his speed and his directness. Very different to Lamine Yamal as a player. And as a result, I think it's a big positive. It makes sense. Bring him in, and I'm sure he'll be a successful signing. This, as a result, is what I have for Barcelona. Joan Garcia with Szczesny as his backup. Eric Garcia as a backup for Koundé. I mean, it looked like he was doing a fantastic job towards the end of last season. He can play centre-back, right-back, defensive midfielder. A player who looked like a surefire exit, in my opinion, has to be a definite stay for Barca. Araujo, yes, I will keep him. You know how much of a big fan I was of Araujo. Yes, things have not been going according to plan. Yes, he doesn't look like he can suit Hansi's system. I want to see a proper preseason from Araujo. The potential is there. Still, yes, he's going up in age. Yes, he makes mistakes. But he's a physically dominant defender. Something which Barcelona don't have. Certain games, Cubarsí and Inigo struggled with the physicality. Araujo can provide that. I want to see at least him being given another season and then take the decision after that. Inigo, like I said, will of course be aging. Replacements will be needed. Monaco coming in my opinion, makes sense, especially whilst keeping Araujo. Then, if Araujo doesn't work out, then next season, of course, Barcelona will need to bring in a top centre-back, maybe a Schlotterback, a Diomande, we'll see. Like I said, Miranda covering for Balde, in my opinion, is a necessity. And I look at this defense now, and I see the necessary depth as well there. I think it makes sense if Barca go in with this, and especially with the goalkeeper there. Defensive midfield, it was a position that I thought Barcelona needed until I seen Bernal play. Even if it was just for a couple of games in pre-season. To me, it looks like a Busquets region. I think he's got that physicality and stature that Barcelona are missing. And as a result, it allows them to keep the others. Of course, Pedri and De Jong had a fantastic season. Talks about should De Jong leave. I thought he was again a surefire exit. But the way he played, if De Jong plays at that level, you'll be absolutely stupid to let Frankie De Jong go. So I'll keep De Jong. And of course, like I said, Bernal, Casado covering for Pedri. That's a four top defensive midfielders. With Gavi, of course, I've put him here. He can play on the left. He can play in defensive midfield. The coverage is there. Lamine Yamal, I've put Olmo here because I think this is the front three. I look at that front three. Rafinha plays better in a central position, in my opinion. Yes, he had a fantastic season on the left. But imagine that tree right there with Lamine, Rafinha, Nico Williams. Sensational. Then you've got the necessary backups. Rafinha can play on the left, of course, and on the right to cover. Olmo can play down the middle, of course. Fermin, Gavi. The coverage is there. Yes, not natural replacements. Like if Lamine is out, like I said, that have to shift Rafinha. There's not a guy that maybe can come in and give Lamine a natural rest while also resting Rafinha. But the flexibility is there. Ferran Torres can also play if needed on either side. And up front, of course, I've got Lewandowski and Ferran Torres. This is the biggest concern I have for Barcelona heading into next season. I think a striker would have been needed. But I fully understand that, of course, Lewandowski, unfortunately for Barca, in my opinion, I respect him, what he's done, but it's pushing it now. You know, there were games last season where Barca looked better without Lewa. My biggest concern is age. He's only getting older. His overall play is on the decline. And there were moments, like I said, where Barca played better with Ferran Torres. I fully understand, though, the decision to wait a year. The Barca don't have the facilities to bring in Nico and a top-class striker while also keeping Lewandowski as a backup. There's just simply not the facilities for that. And then next season, Barca will be one player away from complete domination. You add an Isaac, a Julian Alvarez, bro, even a Sorlot to this Barcelona team. And wow. But this should be good enough for Barca. It will be an upgrade over last season. And I'll be very excited to see what Hansi Flick can cook with this Barcelona team. Let me know, Barca fans, if there's anything you would change. I'm pretty confident that this is the most realistic transfer window, the one that makes the most sense for Barcelona. Phoenix, out.